positive effect, I think, of teaching courses like these in the seminary, courses that might be a seminar or a fully developed course in which seminarians are familiarized with scientific discipline, scientific rigor, and at the same time given the opportunity to explore the interface between science and religion. I think this will equip them with skills to be good homilists, to interpret the wisdom of the faith to a parish community that is increasingly sophisticated in the ways of science. That's the way most people make their living in the world, and so a good priest, a good homilist, I think, needs to exegete the community that he serves, and so part of that exegesis is understanding the world, the context in which people live their lives. So I really think that a good homilist is going to be able to interpret Scripture and to be able to help people see that the many nuances, the many, if you will, literary genres and forms that are in Scripture are not antithetical to scientific ways of thinking, scientific modes of discourse, but rather blend and I think help penetrate with deeper insight the meaning of science. I think Pope John Paul II once said that, science can help us know how the world works, but why it works is the realm of our religious traditions and the great wisdom of the Scriptures. So it seems to me that a good homilist and students who are able to translate that vision of science and faith will really be, they will be effective communicators to their people.
I think scientific literacy matters for seminarians because we don't live in a world where knowledge or information is really kind of separated into a variety of silos, even though there tends to be an aspect of our educational design that wants to make it that way. In fact, I think both science and theology are trying to get at the big questions in life. And seminarians need to be aware of what science has to say, because the people who come to church every Sunday, the people who are in need of pastoral care, the people that will be the people with whom they work primarily in parishes, but also in schools and hospitals and other type of facilities. They're people that are going to be asking questions about the world in which we live. And I think it's always been the case that a priest has been very well educated. Part of being well educated is to having a background in science and being able to talk intelligibly about science and the way the world operates, the way we live as human beings, and have a bigger picture of all of that.
Since the award has been announced, we have been very excited to have this course being offered at our school. For a number of years, going back about a decade or so, I had been thinking about doing something in the philosophy of science for the pre-theology curriculum. I had heard that St. John Vianney in Denver had a similar course, and we had always wanted to do it, but we didn't have the personnel and we didn't have the place in our curriculum for it. So when this opportunity arose through the working of Chris Baglow, I was very eager to accept it. And I think the seminarians also see the need for it because as I try to incorporate science into the other courses, they have to have a solid scientific foundation, and what I thought I could assume on the basis of their college educations isn't necessarily the case. And so having something in-house to give them the scientific information necessary for the course development and continued formation in the sciences is very important for us.
We really live in an increasingly technological and scientific age in which science, our understanding of the universe, our understanding of ourselves, both the hard sciences, the social sciences, really are forming and shaping the way we understand reality, the way we think of ourselves, and the way we think of our place in the universe, the big questions that we ask ourselves, whether that is seminarians in formation, clergy, whether that's the people of God, whether that's people in the world in general. And the more we understand those things, the more we understand how they affect ourselves, the more we understand how that affects others, how that shapes our culture, in turn helps us understand how to live our day-to-day life in keeping with that understanding, and that understanding is amplified by the revelation that God has given to us in Jesus Christ. And so coming to an understanding of that really is an important aspect of our ability to be disciples of Christ, our understanding, our ability to proclaim the gospel of Christ, which really is our task, and to invite people into that gospel to live it in its fullness.